All right, so recording live. All right, Carlos, so what's this?
All right, guys, we're back. And I want to, okay, we're gonna come together, all three of us. This is my little family. And we said red letter exposed. May have to get a different type of chairs.
Oh, no, I'm good. I can squeeze.
Reason why I decided to do this, because I really need everyone to understand the devastation that one person's idea has caused. Margaret Sanger had a book called Negro Project, The Extermination of Blacks. And yet, you got people like Hillary Clinton that won an award and have said that she admires Margaret Sanger. Okay. And then you got Nancy Pelosi winning the award. Okay. Yeah, there's not enough Hail Marys in the world for you people. You're going to hell. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna be point blank to the point. Yeah, wicked as hell. Now, let's get to the point. My brother's gonna read a part that I want you to understand, and then Haley's gonna read, and we're gonna discuss it. So go ahead, take over.
All right. So this is talking about Margaret Sanger and the Negro Project. It says the aim of the program was to restrict many believe exterminate the Black population. Under the pretense of better health and family planning, Sanger cleverly implemented her plan. What's more shocking is Sanger's beguilement of Black America's creme de la creme, those prominent, well-educated, and well-to-do into executing her scheme. Some within the Black elite saw birth control as means to attain economic empowerment, elevate the race, and garner the respect of whites. The Negro Project has had lasting repercussions in the Black community. We have become victims of genocide by our own hands, quotes Reverend Hunter at the Say So March.
Okay. I want you to take that. 16 million Black babies aborted at our own hands. No one else's hands. I don't see you burning down. Oh, Black Lives Matter. I dare you to burn down. No, I can't say that. I guess I can't say that. Yes, I can't say that, huh?
It was by their own choice.
Your own choice. If you're man enough and Black power enough, why don't you go take out a building? A building that's aborting your grandkids, your great grandkids, and the other people. Take out something that's meanwhile, that goes against the race of people. Like an abortion clinic. Do we really need them? No. Take them out.
We're told we are.
Oh, that is true. But maybe you do need them. Maybe if Antifa and Black Lives Matter get together, they can board out the kids, and then we want to deal with them at all. I guess Margaret Sanger may have an idea. Okay, keep them going.
All right. So Malthusian Eugenics, or Malthusian Eugenics. Margaret Sanger aligned herself with the Eugenicists, whose ideology prevailed in the early 20th century. Eugenicists strongly espoused racial supremacy and purity, particularly of the Aryan race. Eugenicists hoped to purify the bloodlines and improve the race by encouraging the fit to reproduce and the unfit to restrict their reproduction. They sought to contain the inferior races through segregation, sterilization, birth control, and abortion. Sanger embraced Malthusian eugenics. Thomas Robert Malthus, a 19th century cleric and professor of political economy, believed a population time bomb threatened the existence of the human race. He viewed social problems such as poverty, deprivation, and hunger as evidence of this population crisis. According to writer George Grant, Malthus condemned charities and other forms of benevolence because he believed they only exacerbated the problem. His answer was to restrict population growth of certain groups of people. His theories of population growth and economic stability became the basis for national and international social policy. Grant quotes from Malthus magnum opus, an essay in the principles of population, published in the 6th edition from 1798 to 1826.
Now stop. Question. I want everyone to think about this. Get in the picture. I want everyone to think about this. Who do you think they're trying to get rid of?
Inferior.
Who is inferior? Let's speak on this, honestly. Who's inferior?
Well, I guess that's their.
You
choice.
infuriate the hell out of me.
You infuriate the hell out of me.
Well, there you go.
I think what they're trying to do is, for whatever reason, they feel they have a position of power to be God and to play God, because God didn't make any of us inferior. He made all of us in his image. So if anything, I would say it's the devil's play, because what gives these people the right to think that they have the ability just to decide human superiority, when the Bible clearly states that God made all of us in his image, even them.
Yes.
So why are they taking on God's responsibility when that was never their given ability? And that's basically it. I mean, they're playing God, which doesn't make any sense to me, because how can they? Based off of melatonin?
Yeah, but isn't that what the devil does?
That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that how the
literally
devil plays
run.
the left against the right
Yeah.
right against the left?
Yeah.
Isn't it how he plays the Catholic, the Christian, the Mormons against each other?
Absolutely. These are people who are being extremely just, I don't know if they're weak. I don't know what it is, but if anything, I think it's just the age-old story of evil against good. Because these people have no right to decide superiority that was given to us from birth, and they're literally killing at birth.
And
It's just wrong.
And this is what we're talking about, because see, in Margaret Sanger world, what she really wanted was no blacks, no Hispanics, no Jews, no Slavs, no this. No, she wanted a pure Aryan race.
She was raised by an atheist.
It was raised by an atheist, so it kind of goes with the thing. But my point is, that's what she wanted. And so she decided to come up with a project called the Negro Project to exterminate.
Mhm.
And she had the right, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, if I was ever gonna play something against, she did it the right way.
Oh, yeah.
Because she
Oh, yeah.
knew, everyone knows.
And
if
she
you-
was a woman.
A
So
woman.
how can you convince women to do this unless you're a woman?
The spirit of Jezebel, but recognize, here is where the problem is. She was so good at her job that a black pastor couldn't tell she was wicked.
So in that case, I would say the devil is winning.
Yes,
In that case, I have to say, like, that's literally the like exact energy and the definition of evil swiping through our country. And so it's this type of American wickedness exposed,
exactly.
because why let him keep winning?
And we're letting them win. Now, I want you to see, I got I got my brother and I got my little baby girl who's getting wooed to death and she ain't going nowhere. And I guess I'm gonna be,
To death.
I may not have any kids, but God just keeps bringing me family. There we go. I'm gonna make my own. I'm gonna be Mother Goose in a Shoe. Is it Mother Goose in a Shoe?
Yeah, I think she was in a shoe.
Isn't she the one with all the kids?
I don't know.
There is a story of a lady in a shoe.
With all the
I don't
kids.
think she was.
If anyone
Maybe.
knows,
Please
this
tell
is
us.
the most important part of this whole thing.
We need to know who she is, because I'm gonna be that woman with the shoe with all the kids. That's, I'm just gonna keep adopting until I can't anymore.
Mhm.
I'll just take everyone's kids, and when I get mad, I'm gonna give them back.
That makes sense.
Ask him, I spoiled his baby rotten. And,
And many other kids.
well, yeah, that's true. I'm a bad auntie. Go ahead.
All right. So to continue, it says, all children born beyond what would be required to keep up the population to a desired level must necessarily perish unless room is made for them by the deaths of grown persons. We should facilitate instead of foolishly and vainly endeavoring to impede the operations of nature in producing this mortality. Malthus disciples believed if Western civilization were to survive, the physically unfit, the materially poor, the spiritually diseased, the racially inferior, and the mentally incompetent had to be suppressed and isolated or even perhaps eliminated.
Stop. I'm gonna tell you, we did this before. America and its wickedness decided that we were going to sterilize people.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say black women. They decided to sterilize you and you didn't know it. A lot of people didn't know they were being sterilized. They was lied to. Just the same as the Tuskegee, just the same as all of the trials that went on and they gave the black men syphilis and then didn't give them
Oh,
a cure.
yeah.
Remember, the government is wicked, baby. And let me tell you, you better recognize that because Planned Parenthood is run and the money is the key. But the out is what I'm trying to figure out. What is their goal? Is the goal to just exterminate all babies or just certain babies? What is the goal? Because to me, when I think of 16 million black babies aborted, and we're not at this time replenishing it because we're killing each other in the streets, then you, my friends, have just given in to white power. Well done. You have now succeeded in killing your own race. Now, that doesn't end there because if you go back in history, you'll find out that they also sterilized those who they said was undesirable. So if you had Down syndrome, if you had mental illness, whatever that is, because they determine what is mental illness. And let me tell you something, you do not want a government telling you what mental illness is. Because how do they know? They can say, I have a mental illness. I'm crazy.
Same.
Well, you
I'm
definitely,
normal.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
honey, if you're normal, my shoes is crazy. But my point is, you don't want a government telling you who's what and who's who, because you will be the next on the list. Trust me, you'll be next on the list. Go ahead.
So Malthus disciples felt that subtler and more scientific approaches of education, contraception, sterilization, and abortion were more practical and acceptable ways to ease the pressures of the alleged overpopulation. Critics of Malthusianism said the group produced a new vocabulary of mumbo jumbo. It was all hard-headed, scientific, and relentless. Further, historical facts have proved that the Malthusian mathematical scheme regarding overpopulation to be inaccurate, though many still believe them. Despite the falsehoods of Malthus's overpopulation claims, Sanger nonetheless immersed herself in Malthusian eugenics. Grant wrote, she argued for birth control using the scientifically verified threat of poverty, sickness, racial tension, and overpopulation as its background. Sanger's publication, The Birth Control Review, founded in 1917, regularly published pro-eugenic articles from eugenicists such as Ernst Ruin. Although Sanger ceased editing the Birth Control Review in 1929, the ABCL continued to use it as a platform for eugenic ideas.
Okay, so most of you don't know, Bill Gates' father, eugenics. Hitler, eugenics. Ford, eugenics. Hitler, eugenics. What's their common denominator? Eugenics. What are they trying to say?
Are you okay?
I need to get a cough drop. What are they trying to say to us?
What was that?
In my coat pocket. What they're trying to say is what they want and will determine who can populate, who can speak, who can talk, who can go to school, who has a word. If you look the part, if you dress the part, be the part, then you're acceptable.
Do you want to take a second to catch up?
My problem with that is that they will find something wrong with all of us. Because none of us are perfect. We all got something wrong. We all have something right too. His name is Jesus. And these people don't have it at all, not even close.
Hmm.
Because what they're trying to figure out is how to make people more like them. And the last time this happened, this was Hitler. Stalin and Mao, you do the report. And this is what I try to tell people about China. China have 1 billion people, or 2 billion,
Well, I can find out for you.
but they can kill 1 billion and still have 1 billion. Self-killing each other is a part of their race. I'm sorry, my sinuses are draining.
Mm.
What I'm trying to tell you is China has no problem killing 100 or 200 million people of their own.
Mhm.
So if they don't have a problem killing themselves, they really don't have a problem with you. I found out the other day, doing some research, some of our pharmaceuticals that comes from China, because it has not been, they don't
FDA.
check it, are empty. And what does that mean? That means there's no drugs in the pills that you're taking.
SIBO?
No, yeah, pretty much,
Yeah.
but they're not supposed to.
No, of course, you're paying for it.
You're paying for it,
Yeah.
and you wonder why you're not getting better. Because some of the medication
It's fake.
is fake. And because we have decided we want cheap stuff, we're getting it from a country who absolutely hate us. Does that make any sense?
Mm.
But I guess America is so dumb, and I think they're gonna keep us dumb by this. But I got news for you. Wake up. Because I'm not settling for this anymore. This is over, and you have been served. Now we're gonna talk about, go on. Do you want to say something about that?
Well, just a question. So
Mhm.
the eugenics
Yes.
is the key thing here. So
Mhm.
finding the best genes, is that what that means?
Well, what they're hoping to, like Hitler.
Make them like
Yeah,
that.
if you think of Hitler, Hitler loved this blonde and blue-eyed, but then he wasn't blonde and blue-eyed.
Well, neither is China.
Well, that is
That's why I
true.
wanted to kill him.
That's why I'm so confused. 'Cause what's the thing?
China,
Maybe it's because
China was
there's not a lot of blonde-haired,
blue-eyed.
blue-eyed white people that
They want.
they want to kill everyone
I
else
know.
and just hit them because they are the
I
minority.
don't think China believes in eugenics. They just believe
No.
in power.
They,
just control.
China just believes in power.
So that is the
Communism.
whole eugenic thing, and this basically the intro to ultimate power. Because like literally blonde-haired, blue-eyed white people are the minority in the world.
I know,
So,
you think about it,
but
who-
that's the one that they want.
but let me,
I
okay,
just, I'm trying to figure out the whole,
well, eugenics is
what's
certain
the
people,
bigger plan?
eugenics is just people who think that they're better than others. And it could be,
But Margaret isn't,
she wasn't blonde either,
no.
I
She
know,
just probably was for
It's just-
Aryan, just for the
but
white
she
population.
just Aryan. But the true Aryan, but think about it, Hitler,
I'm just not tan.
no, but you're not blonde.
No,
And so Hitler,
and I have
but
Mexican
Hitler,
and Native
if
American.
you think about it, Hitler wanted this Thor-like feature.
Yes.
The Viking, the blonde, the blue-eyed, the debonair, the Viking King Thor coming at you. We're gonna rape and pillage. That was pretty much where they were
This is
going.
a very naive statement to say in this whole subject, or
Yes.
just stupid, but did Hitler see Fat Thor in the Avenger movies?
No, he did, honey.
Oh, okay, I'm just saying.
No, there's no fat Thor, honey.
That's a little bit of humor in this. We'll start reading about this. I just don't understand the basis of it, because these people who are doing
just-
this, they're not even the classification
Should-
that they're acquiring.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering what the
But he
bigger plan
did date
is.
it though, because he dated Ava Braun, who was blonde and beautiful and blue-eyed.
And
which
you know
I don't
what
understand
babies they're gonna make? Not blonde, blue-eyed Aryan babies. Oh, but then they'd have to abort them, so. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sense of irrationality
You
and it's
can't when
hard.
someone is that insane.
So we're being manipulated by a bigger plan. And
The-
that's why you said, like,
Yeah.
we're being exposed, like,
And what are we exposing? Here's the thing. What are they really trying to signal?
I don't know.
What do you think? What are they trying to signal?
Is Margaret Sanger or?
Yeah, as Margaret Sanger, what is she trying to signal? She's dead, but her policy is reaching.
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean,
She planted a
1932,
seed.
1932, and we're in 2020.
100%, yeah.
So tell me, she has exceeded her growth, but tell me, why are we
So-
still dealing with it?
So it's changed, so the mentality has changed. So you guys have to think back to when Margaret Sanger started this, it was what, the 1920s, the 1930s, you've got slavery still going on, you've got all these things that are happening. So you have an inferiority of anything outside of your race. But now it's changed. So now you guys have to understand why abortions are still happening in the United States is because they are still trying to suppress a certain race. And so they know, we've talked, and you talked about this earlier, that right now the black population isn't growing.
No.
It's actually getting smaller
Yes.
because of abortion.
Abortion.
And so that really becomes the real question. I don't know if I could answer this. I don't know if anybody could answer this, is why is it that they want to keep the black population suppressed? Why do they want to keep them?
Well, anything other
in-
than Aryan.
Say that again?
I was going to say mostly specified, yes, on the black race, the African American race, but I would say it's anything other than Aryan.
Yeah.
Because
she-
like, I would say that is probably the number one, and
because she
maybe,
can't.
maybe because it's just the most fucking noticeable, pardon my French.
But no, but
Black
no.
and white is very different.
Yeah, but then it goes to Jews, because she couldn't stand them either. She
So what
wanted to
I'm saying,
exterminate
it's
them
like
to.
anything other
the-
than
Aryan
Aryan
is what she
with
wanted.
an
Yeah.
emphasis on maybe the most
Yeah.
noticeable.
Yeah.
Because if you're off-white, you're not Aryan,
You're not
but it
Aryan,
might be
but
difficult
You
to
can
tell.
deal with it. It's like a friend of mine said. I met
Were you done? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No.
I met a guy who's a member of the KKK. And I thought it was funny because every time everyone say KKK, they think you should be afraid of them and, boo, 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 boo. I'm not afraid of the little bastards. They're just little bastards. I'm sorry. He's a 6'4" bastard, but he's still a bastard. My point was, he was 6'4", red hair, blue eyes, whatever. But he hated, he really had a hate. And he had the swastikas and stuff, whatever. And a friend of mine married him. That was more hard for me, because that was one of my closest friends. So I had left Oklahoma, and then when I came back, they told me she had married him. And I went, oh, good God, are you serious? And they go, yeah. I went, call him up, I'm on my way over. And so my friend warned him, she's coming. Oh, yeah. I got there, and I looked at my sizes and put up and down. And I looked at him, I said, let me tell you how this is gonna work out. And I said, my friend has been through hell and back. If you yell at her, I'll kill you. If you hit her, I'll kill you. If you don't treat her like the queen that she is, I will kill you. If you do this, I will take your body out to the Indian reservation, skin you alive, put you in a pit, and they will never find your body again. Do I make myself clear? He looked at me and goes, I like her, she's crazy.
Oh,
What part of me do you like? And he goes, you're just not black. Is it changing colors anytime soon? But that was his whole thing. He said, you're not black. Do you know how many members I've met, KKK, who've said to me, you're not black? I've met people from the Aryan race who said I'm not black. The KKK said I'm not black. When I was in Germany, I met a couple of Aryan brotherhoods, and they said I'm not black, little Nazis. I'm like, what part of this are they not seeing? And I realized it wasn't my color that threw them, it was my attitude. So therefore, it was the attitude of me. And therefore, they had to change because what they had been told how blacks act, what they've been told what blacks do, what blacks say, how they do them. And I didn't fall into that category.
okay.
And so I didn't listen to rap, I was into heavy metal. Yep.
Okay, so then, before I get into this, because I know we have about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so then that shows me it's not on the color of your skin, because like I was saying, this is melatonin,
Yeah.
it means nothing, it's a scientific
Yeah.
thingy. It is really, it just goes on our mindset. So with all of the stuff we've been told from Margaret Sanger
Mhm.
and everything, we're being manipulated, and
Yes.
our minds are being told something
Yes.
without the experience nor the knowledge nor the ability to gain that knowledge. So really it's about waking up and
Yeah.
learning so that way we can understand what the facts are
Yes.
and start thinking for ourselves.
Yes.
But that's hard because it's a lot easier to play a victim.
Oh, yeah. And I can tell you, blacks love playing victim,
I think everybody does though.
but I'm tired of them playing victim.
Well, that makes sense.
They-
That makes
I am
sense.
so tired of that victim
I'm
card.
really tired of like everyone.
Everyone's a racist. Everyone's a racist. No, baby, you're the racist.
No, I'm tired of playing a victim. To make it only about myself, it's hard to wake up and change, but I'm happy to.
Okay. So
Okay.
she's gonna read something about the Harlem Clinic. Go ahead.
Okay. In 1929, 10 years before Sanger created the Negro Project, the ABCL laid the groundwork for a clinic in Harlem, a largely Black section of New York City. It was the dawn of the Great Depression, and for Blacks, that meant double the misery. Blacks faced harsher conditions of desperation and privation because of widespread racial prejudice and discrimination. From the ABCL's perspective, Harlem was the ideal place for this experimental clinic, which officially opened on November 21st, 1930. Many Blacks looked to escape their adverse circumstances and therefore did not recognize the eugenic undercurrent of the clinic. The clinic relied on the generosity of private foundations to remain in business. In addition to being thought of as inferior and disproportionately represented in the underclass, according to the clinic's own files used to justify its work, Blacks in Harlem. There's bullet points. So first bullet point is we're segregated in an overpopulated area, 224,760 of 330,000 of greater New York's, oh crap, population lived in Harlem during the late 1920s and 1930s. Second bullet point, comprised 12% of New York City's population, but accounted for 18.4% of New York City's unemployment. They also had an infant mortality rate of 101 per 1,000 births compared to 56 among whites. They also had a death rate from tuberculosis, 237 per the 100,000. That was the highest in central Harlem out of all of New York City. So although the clinic served whites as well as Black, it was established for the benefit of colored people. Sanger wrote this in a letter to Dr. W.E. Burghardt Du Bois, one of the day's most influential Blacks, a sociologist and an author, and he was Black, right?
Mm-hmm. Good.
He helped found the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People in 1909 to improve the living condition of Black Americans. The Blacks endured extreme prejudice and discrimination, which contributed greatly to their plight, seemed to further justify restricting their numbers. Many believed the solution lay in reducing reproduction. Sanger suggested the answer to poverty and degradation lay in smaller number of Blacks. She convinced Black civic groups in Harlem of the benefits of birth control under the cloak of better health, i.e., reduction of maternal and infant death, child spacing, and family planning. So with their cooperation and the endorsement of the Amsterdam News, a prominent Black newspaper, Sanger established the Harlem branch of the Birth Control Clinical Research Bureau. The ABCL told the community birth control was the answer to their predicament. Sanger shrewdly used the influence of prominent Blacks to reach the masses with this message. She invited Du Bois and a host of Harlem's leading Blacks, including physicians, social workers, ministers, and journalists, to form an advisory council to help direct the clinic so that our work in birth control will be a constructive force in the community.
Stop. Everybody knows from the past that if you want to go to a Black community, ever since slavery, you go through pastors. If you win the pastors over, you won the Black community. It's been that way since slavery. The problem with this is she knew this. And she used that to her ability.
Yeah.
And this is a problem, because now think about what I'm saying to you. He's a pastor.
Mm.
So how is it a pastor?
Boy.
No, I'm talking about him. A pastor. How is a pastor not seeing evil? His main job is to see evil, and yet he didn't see evil. That's all I want to know. He's supposed to be the head shepherd. Well, where's the shepherding going? Who is he shepherding in? My point is, even under the Obama administration, Obama wanted to, and I want you guys to hear me correctly, he wanted to legislate who can be a pastor. Because he wanted to try to make sure that he got who he wanted in the pulpit.
Yeah.
So you would only read or teach or whatever he wanted, or whatever the government wanted.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't go on your own. This is a problem, church, and you better wake up. They're coming for you. Go ahead.
Okay. So literally going off of that, Margaret Sanger knew the importance of having Black professionals on the advisory board and in the clinic. She knew that Blacks would instinctively suspect whites of wanting to decrease the numbers. She would later use this knowledge to implement the Negro Project. Sanger convinced the community so well that Harlem's largest Black church, this is who you were talking about, Harlem's largest Black church, the Abyssinian Baptist Church, held a mass meeting featuring Sanger as a speaker, but that event received criticism. At least one very prominent minister of a denomination other than Baptist spoke out against Sanger. Dr. Adam Clayton Powell, senior pastor of Abyssinian Baptist, said received adverse criticism from the unnamed minister, who was surprised that he'd allow that awful. Okay, so sorry, just for my own understanding. So Dr. Adam Clayton Powell was the senior pastor of Abyssinian Baptist who let Margaret Sanger come in and speak. The unnamed minister who criticized this choice basically is the one who spoke out about him. And then that senior pastor, Dr. Adam Clayton Powell, said he was surprised, or no, sorry, who was the minister, had the criticism, which had said against him that they were surprised that he would allow an awful woman in his church. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay,
So in
I'm
other
sorry.
words, so what I'm saying, what she's saying is this, because one person stood up,
Unnamed,
unnamed, and said, how do you allow
yeah,
this awful person be a speaker at your church?
yeah, he was surprised that Clayton Powell would allow this.
So how would you like it? So let me ask you, brothers and sisters, how would you like it if the KKK come in a hood and spoke at your church, our Black church? You wouldn't allow it. That's who Margaret Sanger was.
But if a Black pastor who they went to church and trusted allowed it, then there's now suddenly legitimacy.
There you go.
And this guy called him out on it,
Yes,
unnamed.
unnamed.
Okay, so thank you for explaining that. So then Grace Congregational Church hosted a debate on birth control. Proponents argued birth control was necessary to regulate births in proportion to the family's income. Spacing births would help mothers recover physically and fathers financially. Physically strong and mental sound babies would result, and incidences of communicable diseases would decrease.
So basically what they're saying, if you will call, you don't need no kids.
So opponents contended that as a minority group, Blacks needed to increase rather than decrease, and that they needed an equal distribution of wealth to improve their status. These are the ones again, okay, against Margaret. In the end, the debate judges decided the proponents were more persuasive. Birth control would improve the status of Blacks. Still, there were others who equated birth control with abortion and therefore considered it immoral. So basically, the debate, they sided with those supporting Margaret, and the opponents who said, no, let's have more babies, let's help them more, let's give them more wealth. They denied.
And this is what I say to people, because I wanted you guys to hear that, because it was so important. Because most people don't understand what her main goal is. And my question to all of you out there, we just gave you a tidbit of it. The game plan for Satan is to destroy the family. That's the game plan. He wants to destroy the nucleus.
And not make more.
Oh no, you can make them if you can populate, but if you can't populate, you can't make them. So you gotta take you out. So if you're a robot, I guess he would like it then, but I don't see how they're gonna populate, but I guess you could if you tried. Put it in a petri dish, why not?
Yeah. Interesting.
Clone, why don't you? But anyway, not gonna go there. So the idea of the gain in this is for he wouldn't exist. And I'm the oldest one, so I'm the only one from my mother, so I will still exist. Where are you on the poll? How many kids?
Older brother, me, little sister, little brother.
Okay, well, the other two couldn't exist. So, and you are the baby, so you couldn't exist because you got a brother and a sister, so you wouldn't be here. See what I'm saying? Margaret's World is 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
2 kids. That's all you get. If, she don't want you to have more than that. She don't like big families. She hated big families. If you can't afford it, don't have them. Her thing was she wanted to socialize it to the fact is it wasn't just a race, it was also how much money you make. If you don't make enough money, you don't deserve to have a kid.
Oh, wow.
If you are slow, mentally slow, you can't have a kid, let's sterilize you. If you have any type of disease, let's sterilize you. If you walk different, let's sterilize you. If you sound different, let's sterilize you.
I probably should have a kid then.
So everything is
I think I
sterilization
fit into
to
every one of those categories.
keep you from population. You need to think about this. These are the people that we're allowing in office. And California, wake up. This bill is coming to us. And my heart tells me we ain't got enough Christians to stop it.
There's so much ignorance and there's lack of knowledge.
We do not have enough Christians that is willing to stand. We only have enough churches that are open, they're willing to stand against the emperor. But don't get me started about the emperor, because that'll be all day conversation. Put my foot up his butt, but that's that butt. I'm back.
I still think you have to follow the money though, because I feel like people would rather stay ignorant and victimized if they're being given money, since we live in a capitalistic society. If they can buy the things they want, then they're gonna stay quiet and just accept that.
Well, most of the time, the abortions
Which
are
is
paid
very-
for by us. Yes, we're paying for those abortions. But now we're finding that the bodies of those aborted are being the abortion clinics are making millions of dollars on the aborted babies.
It's all this hypocrisy manipulation. So
So my point is, somebody's getting rich and it ain't us.
how do we wake up and stop it?
We need to go back to the beginning and realize that we have to be family oriented. We have to be able to talk to each other as a family. If we got a problem, we have to there's no communication. If you're not feeling good, talk to me. Let's pray on it. Let's find you some help. Let's do this together. You can't live in this world separate. It doesn't work that way. When I hurt, you hurt. When he hurts, we all hurt. But we can, but we have to be able to do this. Shut up. Okay, he's looking at me like,
So make him feel bad, Barton.
too bad. That's what it gets for being a boy. I love my boy. I love my baby, but that's it. But folks, I'm really being honest.
Yeah.
We need to wake up. Okay, I'm gonna give you a few seconds to say something. End it. Come on, say something powerful. Come on, man of the hour. Scoot up there, say something. Get in there, say something.
I would just have to say that I think that it's time for all of us to walk in love, and love is more important than just loving ourselves. It's very important, but it's also important for us to love others. And I think that's what God says, that he so loved the world that he gave his only son. And just, I think that that's an epitome of what love is sacrificing your own life for someone else. Not just physically dying for someone else, but I think sacrificing our own will sometimes, right? Sometimes we have to sacrifice our own will for our child. Sometimes we have to sacrifice our own needs for our neighbors. And I think that that's what we need to come to an understanding and come back to, is that sacrificial love where we are willing to be inconvenienced. We are willing to give something up so that way our brothers and our sisters and our neighbors and our friends, we can all, come together.
All right, Miss Haley, what you got, girl?
Well, I kind of want to piggyback off of that because being inconvenienced a lot of the times means going against instant gratification. And a lot of the times living in a world of money, we're instantly gratified every time we purchase something. So I want to end this with just going off of that, also having the rational awareness of how much money is dictating our lives to allow this type of monstrosity to happen, because since we're so ignorant and wanting just to be taken care of, someone, government, whatever it might be, they shovel money at us and we have no idea why they're doing it and what they're preventing us from stepping into power based off of that control of those finances. So being inconvenienced a lot of the times means, all right, yeah, I'm not going to purchase that thing, or I'm not going to spend my time getting my nails done, my hair done, going to see a movie, or whatever it might be for you to help somebody else. So I think being inconvenienced doesn't necessarily mean to the level of, dying for your fellow brother and sister, but it does mean putting their needs above yours and not just chasing the money and the happiness, because at the end of the day, does that bring happiness? And I think we've had enough stories of billionaires who are miserable and commit suicide even though they have everything in the world. So I want to say, leave all this information. Yes, it's horrid. And yes, everything you're saying, Carla, is absolutely correct. The history, the knowledge is priceless. But at the same time, in our daily lives, let's stop being manipulated by instant gratification. And let's just start questioning. If someone asks you to do something and your first response is no, maybe ask, why is it no? What do you want to do instead of going to help your friend, your family member, your brother or sister, your work associate? Why is the answer no? And if the answer no is out of just whatever that might be for you, is that something that maybe you can do in 2 hours from now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just, you have to start very small. And I feel like we live in a capitalistic society. So I want people to stop being ignorant based off of money.
Mhm.
And what if you turned down that money? What would it force you to do? Probably it would force you to work and be better. So why not do that and start realizing that we're all just monkeys being controlled by a dollar that literally has absolutely no value in the government? So I don't know. I know that's a big total sideways from everything. It's not religious at all, but I'm so sorry. Like my generation could totally relate to that. Like just follow the money, you guys, and stop being stupid, I guess. I'm stupid, so I'm gonna have to do that. It sucks, because now I have to cancel my hair appointment next Wednesday, but that's okay.
Here's, what have you done for Jesus lately? And I want you to really think about, what have you done for Jesus lately? I know what he done for you, but what have you done for him? You see, a lot of people can't answer that. And that should be something that you should deeply think about. Because if you read in Ezekiel and you read the Bible, you're going to find amazing stories, amazing truth, amazing love, war, death, everything. But the one thing that binds us together is love. Margaret Sanger had no love for nobody, not herself, definitely not us. Planned Parenthood has no love for us or nobody else. And anyone who thinks that it does has been sadly mistaken. It was something that was covered up for healthcare reasons. And they should have figured it out and went another direction. But the devil is a liar, and this is 2020, and we are waking up in every community. So I ask you again, What have you done for Jesus lately? You need to think about that, because what he's done for you, that cross is still there. The tomb is empty. His arms is open wide, and he's waiting for you. He's waiting for you to say, yes, Lord. He's waiting for you to take the mantle and run. But what have you done for him lately? You're afraid to stand up. The churches are afraid. I get it. But if you're going to sit here and wait for someone else, baby, you're going to die on the vine. And all your years spent doing nothing. And you're going to wish you did something, because time is ticking. And wickedness knows no bounds. And wickedness is coming for California. It already came for New York. It's coming down the tubes in Washington and Oregon. Very few Christians, they can't stop it there, but it's coming. California will be the bloodbath center of butchered babies. I hope you're proud, California. I hope you're proud, because if Christians don't stop it and we don't get in a mode of repentance, we will not be able to stand. You think a baby's life is insignificant. I tell you, a baby's life is significant. It is essential. It is beautiful. Even though when my girlfriend put my hand on the baby and the baby kicked, and I thought it was weird, and it ran from her because it's just moving. Oh, but it's the most beautiful thing in the world, because I get to see that baby turn into an 8-year-old, and she is amazing. And I want to say this, all babies are important. All babies are important. Not just yours, everybody's. And it's time for the community of Christians to come together and fight this. We can do this together. We can't do it separate. This ends this program with American wickedness, with my 3 components. Get over here. He's my brother. I can do that. Come on, little girl. Yes, see, little girl, little boy. Okay. Good night, guys.
Good night.
God bless.
Aye.